rock and metal fans. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Brandan of Bleeding Through on their new upcoming album, Nine, which comes out February 14th. I hope you enjoy. How are you?
Doing all right. Can't
Are,
complain.
are you still in Southern California?
Yeah, we're in Huntington Beach, California right now.
You're safe? Everything okay there?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. We're about like 25 miles from like probably the nearest like area where the fires are at. But it's the smoke is coming down here when the fires were up, and right now it's pretty clear. Um, Hopefully the winds don't pick up because if the winds pick up and there's the because it's dry and windy and like just hopefully fingers crossed that nothing like this happens again.
Yeah, it's been scary. That was my first thought is he's right in the threshold of all that. So hopefully
Yeah.
you're not like dodging things while you're trying to do interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you guys are safe. So ninth album comes out cleverly titled Nine on Valentine's Day. Is Valentine's Day like special day for the release, or did it just happen to fall on that Friday?
Wouldn't you think it would be? You know what I
That's
mean? Like,
leading through,
like
kind
it's
of.
it's kind of like one of these things where like no, it wasn't planned. It was originally planned to come out in 2024. I'm going to give you the journey of this record. Um, but we elected to have a little bit slower rollout plan. And it gave us a little bit more time to get our shit together and everything put together. We had a lot of shows coming up, so it kind of gave us some time to breathe. Then it was supposed to come out January 13th. Okay. That was the original one. And then that went away. It got pushed. Just kind of like, it's one of those things where like Sharp Tone is putting out a couple different records. And it's like, we don't really care when the record comes out. Other bands care. And I don't really understand why. And then it was like, oh, cool. Well, then it's coming out February 9th. I'm like, perfect. The 9th
Oh,
record's called Nine,
yes.
all that shit. But then that went away. And then it got pushed to February 14th. And it was like, oh, Valentine's Day. And I'm like, that's cool. And I remember saying to myself, I'm like, people are going to think we did this on purpose, like Valentine's Day, because it's like super gothic and, we're like a weird, like emotional band. I mean, it makes perfect fucking
It
sense.
really does.
But it just fell on that day.
It's a kind of a serendipitous type thing. Well, this album, it doesn't really have to do with love though. It's a very heavy, dark album.
It
It's
is.
so your last release in 2018 was a family favorite. We listened to that album a
Good.
ton in this household.
Cool.
So I was super stoked to see that you guys were coming back with another one because I wasn't sure if that was going to happen or not.
Have
Um,
you heard the whole record yet?
Yes,
Yeah, cool.
multiple times.
Yeah.
It's so heavy. It's so good. I have my favorites. You've already released, I want to say five songs off the album. I thought it was only four, but Wartime came
It's
out a long
it's
time.
four singles, but we re me and whatever. We redo Wartime and we add Brian Fair from Shadows Fall on the song. So yep.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. One
Yeah,
second,
no,
sorry.
you're good.
Hello, how you doing? Lindsay's in there. Do you need to get in here? No, I need to talk to her. Oh, okay, she's in there. Okay. I'm just doing it. I'm sorry, I'm doing a Zoom right now. I'm sorry. No, sorry about that.
That's all right. Busy,
Supposed to
busy.
get interrupted. So, um,
Redid that one with Brian, which I actually talked with Brian for Downpour
yeah,
a few months ago. I don't know how long ago it was, a few months ago. He's a super down to earth fun dude.
dude, he's the best. So yeah, but the thing is, like the record, even though we released like a lot of songs off it, the songs that we haven't are very like prominent record songs. Like the first song on the record, Gallows, is like,
Oh,
if that doesn't make you feel something, you're just like dead,
yeah.
like literally, and it just sets the whole tone for like what the record kind of is.
So if you allow me, I'm going to get into this with you because I know
Yeah,
it
do
has
it.
a lot to do with mental health. I'm actually a mental health professional, and so
Yeah,
it's something obviously that I'm very passionate about, and I love when bands bring that message forward. I think it's so important. So the first one I want to talk about, and I don't know what this is about, and so I could be totally off track with this even in the subject, but I want to talk about Emery. Tell me about that one.
Mm. Uh, Emery is about the ugliness of just committing yourself into a relationship with like people that you like, with someone that you love. It's about the ugliness of commitment and the ugliness of just love in general. And that's probably the one song that is kind of more centered around like the love element. This record mainly deals with like mental health and just stuff like that. But this song in particular is the one song that is just like, it's just like a journey of like, it's like a question, like you questioning, you asking the person that you are the most in love with, that you spend your life with, you know, through times of the good times and the bad times, when we are tearing each other down, when we are saying the most hurtful like shit to each other, like that we don't even fucking mean. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's, you know, are you still gonna stay with me through like my worst times? Like, are you still gonna stay with me while I fight through like, you know, this issue in my life or that issue? Because that's what relationship is. It's the strength of having each other's back through like whatever you guys go through, you know, and loyalty. And so that song's kind of like about that. It's about, you know, this is gonna get ugly. This isn't always gonna be perfect, but like, will you like stay with me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Through the darkest times.
And we always hurt the people that we care about the most.
Yeah,
Seems like
for
those are the
sure.
people that we come after, which is so bizarre, but it's just, I guess,
Isn't it?
human nature because we all do it.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
It's
silly.
crazy.
Tell me about Lost in Isolation. I think that one's probably my favorite. It might be, I mean, for a lot of different reasons, but the
Yeah.
harmonizing with the vocals, I really, really enjoy in that one. And then compositionally, it's just an incredible song.
Thank you. Um, that song is about kind of like in life how there's things like with it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be like just anything, like giving yourself so much to something that you just literally like lose yourself in it, and you lose your like just lose yourself in general, and like you just feel depleted and like not yourself, like you've lost. Like there's going to be moments of like that in your life where you feel like you've lost. And it just one of the like that's like the internal like just the battle of like picking yourself up and just like working through it. You know what I mean? Like, don't give up on yourself. Have people in your life that don't give up on you as well, because you're going to need to lean on them in the darkest fucking times. And but it's just about that self repair, self recovery, and that's basically what that song's about. Like, yeah, it's just about how you're gonna, if you're a passionate person, if you're gonna be that passionate about anything, it's gonna grind you down to like the nubs, man, and it's gonna test everything about you. So, you know, and you're not always gonna win those battles. So that's what that song's about.
So when you're going through that personally, what are some things that you do to try to help yourself get on the other side of it and pull through it?
I mean, music definitely helps. Um, I've always turned to music, and especially with bands that I can connect on like what my interpretation of what their lyrics mean. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And also fitness and what I do like for my day job, and like what I started doing like 13 years ago, almost
Genius.
14 years ago. But like getting into this business because it was so therapeutic for me. It gave me such a daily, it gave me a daily purpose and a reason. Um, I love progress. I'm a person that like, I know I could be a complete sack of shit, but if I progress at something small, I could focus in on that and kind of help me kind of like go on to the next step. So I'm a big believer in progress, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I think people need to hang their hat on progress, whether it's big or small.
Yeah.
And with fitness, this allows people to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and I love being around it. And it's definitely helped me through like times where I feel like I've lost myself a little bit. It helps me a chance to like reset. Um, I find that if we can take a little bit of time out of our lives to do something for ourselves every day, it doesn't need to be an hour. It could be fucking 10 minutes, but don't worry about other shit for 10 minutes a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Worry about yourself, go on a walk, go focus in on something else. Um, do something that's going to better you. It could be like reading something, learning about something, trying to discover new music, writing down lyrics, anything like that.
Yeah, I think those are wonderful, wonderful things. I mean, I working out is just kind of a natural remedy and mental health for
Totally.
sure. Plus, it helps you kind of think more clear. I've
Yeah.
noticed if your head's all mucky, it can help you, especially if you can go outside and do something outside.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, are you a big time reader?
I used to be on tour because it was like this is going to age me. Um, yeah, I was because it's not like it's not like we all had fucking laptops back then.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
laptops we did have didn't have like DVD, like you know what I mean? Like a CD was put in your laptop because it had like a program on it. And it's like we would have to I remember like getting like DVD players and the screens are like as big as it is on your fucking phone and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, you know, and even then that shit was expensive for us. So like I would read a lot. And so I would just read like anything. I
Yeah.
like fantasy stuff. I like, you know, more like autobiography type things. Like I want to learn about people. Like
Yeah.
people learning about people is like one of my favorite things. Like so I used to learn a lot about people.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
read Serge's book, uh,
that's cool.
Down with the System. I think is that's what it was called. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about some Armenian history that I had no idea
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
I mean, well,
You,
their history is crazy. I mean,
oh,
yeah, the
it's
history of their country
heartbreaking.
and like like the Holocaust, like they're basically their Holocaust, they're like
Yeah,
genocide and all. It's just that wow,
it's
it's crazy.
heartbreaking. It's
Um,
heartbreaking.
yeah, now I don't really read much anymore. Now I will actually just like I'll watch like I'd rather like just watch a documentary or something like that now. But yeah,
What are some of your favorite books from back then, and what are some of your favorite documentaries? I love documentaries.
let's see.
It's okay if you can't remember.
I mean, documentary wise, visually, I mean, I'm like a huge like history person, right? So like World War history, basically. I'll
Mhm.
watch like anything about like any like in particular war or battle or the reasoning behind it. It could be from like, you know, it could be from like BC to like whatever. I just think that's fascinating. That's so
Yeah.
fascinating to me. Um, and then probably my favorite books are like probably the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
And,
you
but
read
the
them
thing
as they
is like,
came out?
yeah, yeah. The thing is with it is like what's cool about the Harry Potter books is they did such a good job with the movies that it made me love the books more. Like
Mhm.
I visually when I'm reading these books and trying to visualize what these people look like fuck, they just like knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Like you're like, what? That is what I envision, you know?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. So were you like one of the ones with the dressed in a robe with your wand with all the rest of the
No,
kids
dude.
at midnight
No,
releases to get the new book?
I do it's funny, my wife took me to Universal Studios for my birthday one year just so I can go to like Hogwarts and stuff and like
Yes.
I stood in line and fucking bought a wand and I didn't do the thing where it chooses you like there's this whole thing that like it'll which one speaks to you and which what you choose whatever and you could do ones where you could like voice activate commands and you know all that shit but I bought the wand of like my favorite character
Yeah.
so and it's cool and it's just displayed in my house like above my couch it's really funny actually but
Who is your
it's
favorite
Severus
character?
Snape's wand
Oh yes.
that's cool as fuck
Yeah,
yeah
he's a cool character. What house do you belong to?
I mean, dude, I'd be in Slytherin for
Oh,
sure.
I do.
Yeah, because like I'm like bad, but I'm good. Like, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And Gryffindor is just like the fucking front runner babies, and like Hufflepuff just wants to be Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw. The only thing cool about that's just,
They're really smart.
yeah, I don't know the name.
Gosh, that's funny. That was not a rabbit hole I thought we were gonna go down.
Dude, we can go down that rabbit hole pretty deep. Like we can keep going.
I read the books as they came out, but that's about as far as I think driven into it. I think you're a little bit farther into it than I am.
I'm way more nerdy than people think, man.
It's not, you know what? It's not uncommon with metalheads. There is a
No, it's
fine
not.
line between nerd and
Dude,
metalhead, and a lot of people that are outside the genre do not understand that.
I mean, if you like Iron Maiden, you're a fucking dork. Like what that dude sings about, come on, man. Like I realized early, like Metallica, like I could get into Metallica, oh, they're dark, but you listen to like Iron Maiden, it takes you down like a fantasy road. And that I loved Iron Maiden, so I'm like, man, I am a fucking dork, like straight
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
which is
nothing
cool.
wrong with that. Heck yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
it.
nothing wrong with that. You guys ever play D&D?
No, I never got that dorky. That's like another
Oh,
level.
oh, it's a good level. It's a lot of fun. You get to escape reality. I can't think of anything much better than that, especially these days.
Yeah, I think I got like really into video games when I was like really young too, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
Mario.
that kind of took away like role play from me.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
also playing sports all the time. I was
Mm.
like one of those like dorks that like I've
Was
been
athletic.
called I've been called dude goth by like a lot of my friends because I'm like into like gothic dork shit, but like I'm also like good at sports and it's kind of weird.
No, you're a balanced person. That's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. You don't have to fit any kind of certain mold. No,
No.
that's what's nice about people who are just themselves. You get to be
Yeah.
who you are, and you don't have to go along lines with what that's supposed to look like for everybody else. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so with you having pretty deep lyrics, well, not pretty deep, very deep lyrics, do you ever have people that come up to you and share their like dark, heavy stories about,
Also,
yeah, how do you handle that? Because there is such a thing as secondary trauma, and there is such a thing as carrying other people's weight. How are you able to keep yourself from carrying their stuff with you?
I mean, the thing is that's like really for me is like I was one of those people. Like when I would meet bands, I would feel like that I connected on like a level with that. I would let them know that like that helped me. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, like your lyrics, your music, it helped me with this. Um, so but I would never get into like what I would never get into the stories of like that. Um, that happens to me a lot. I want to hear about people's story. I do. We really, one thing I'll say about this too, like we really care about our fans a lot. Like we owe them like everything. You know what I mean? So it's like, um, uh, so it's like I'll take on those stories. If it gets a little bit too heavy though, like I do have like a hey, like you know, a lot of this stuff, like if it's getting like heavy, like you should like speak to a professional. And that's what I just try to do is be like, this is at a level of like needing professional. You know what I mean? And I'm not a professional. I'm a fucking mess. I have this music that keeps me like moving through my day. And so it's like, but I do know like I let them know that they're not alone because they're not people that are dealing with a lot of like mental instability or relationship trauma or anything. Like I let them know they're not alone, but I kind of nip it in the butt if I feel like it's going to be like a secondary like PTSD dump onto my soul. You know what I
Good
mean?
for you. Good for
Yeah,
you. I'm sure that's not easy to do sometimes, but that's really important boundary. So good for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like let these people know that like my the music is there for them to kind of embrace. Um, but like that's not the end. That's not the be all end all. And I'm a very big proponent of like self help and trying to figure out ways to like educate yourself and be more mindful of your problems. And first thing foremost is it, finding it if you think there's a problem, acknowledging that you do have a problem and there's something wrong. Second thing is getting someone to actually diagnose that problem. Don't self-diagnose because that's just going to lead to a world of self-medication and self all this kind of shit, which is like, it's going to lead me back to like, hold on, remember this, because I'm going to go back full circle. So the thing is like, let them know that they need to like go and seek help if they feel like there is a problem, or at least seek somebody that they trust that they can talk to and get a perspective from someone else. And maybe that person is the person who tells them to get help. Maybe they need that from a couple people. But one thing to do is just acknowledge that you have something going on, but also acknowledge that it's okay because you're not alone. As unique as you think your fucking problem is, it's not. It's fucking not. People would be so blown away to know how just horribly the same we are in a lot of aspects of our lives. It's just little spurs of individualism that comes off of it. But the core and a lot of the problems that we face, we're not alone. We all face that shit. So, but I do tell people to don't self-diagnose, don't self-medicate. It's like the thing of this. It's so fucking irresponsible in my mind when you go on Instagram and you start scrolling through like, do you have ADHD? Do you have signs of this? If you do, buy this fucking product that's going to help this and this. And it's like funny because I'm like, they're really choosing things that all look like what I'm going through. But that's just if you're over 40, that's what you're going through. And I'm sorry, there's not a magic fucking potion that's going to get you through that. Like structure, balance, fucking healthy diet, movement is going to get you through that. And like, yes, people do struggle mentally with things, but we don't all have adult ADHD.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Every time.
If I have to see another ad for a fucking mushroom gummy, I'm going to kill myself, literally.
Well, don't do that. But no, I agree. I notice that there's trends too. So I'll have a bunch of clients all at once be like, oh, I'm pretty sure I have autism. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you think that? Well, I was watching these TikTok videos and I'm like, okay, like let's talk about that and let's try to figure this out. But ADHD is one of them. Like what were these other, gaslighting and narcissism are the ones that you hear all the time. And I'm like, hey, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But I see trends like that all the time, and it's usually coming off of different social media things.
Yeah.
And it's just
doesn't it bug you? It bugs the hell out of me.
It used to. But now I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about this and let's explore this and see if it rings true for you. Good for you for trying to figure yourself out, but let's see if that's actually accurate or not. So now I try to take it as you're trying to figure yourself out, but it used to drive me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Get on social media.
I've been the target market, dude. I've tried these things and I've tried different things because I want to know if they work, right? Whatever. What's it gonna do? Like, I mean, yeah. So it's like I've tried these things and it's like first month you feel good. But you feel good because it's just something different in your body that you're not used to. So you're like, shit. All I've been needing to do is take lion's mane and I'd be this fucking superhuman person that could just ignore all of their problems and just like start killing it everywhere in life. No, dude, it's not that simple. Because after a month of it, your body's like, yeah, lion's mane, so what? Like, you know what I mean? And now what do you got? And that's when people are like, maybe I need to add lion's mane with this and this. And then all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, it's a slippery slope. Dude, I'm there. Sometimes you just got to dive off and be like, okay, fixing your brain and balancing your brain doesn't really have anything to do with what you're going to put in your body. It's about, like I said, square one, number one, acknowledging the problem acknowledging that you have a problem and getting properly diagnosed for that. And then just figure out other options. Don't just jump to conclusion that shit, I'm struggling with this and I need this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Where are some places that you do get inspiration from? Obviously from life, obviously from just the struggles of being human. But do you have other places that you get inspiration from as well?
I mean, I'm inspired just by I'm inspired by where I'm from. Like, it sounds weird, but Orange County, the community here is so diverse. It's diverse in the ways of there's extreme haves and extreme have-nots, right? But the beauty of in the middle, in between, it's like it's such a diverse place where I live, and people have to work really hard to live here, and that inspires me. The daily community that I feel like the energy around here inspires me as well. So that, I mean, I do draw from that. Um, but the thing that inspires me the most now is honestly, I got inspired for like for the new record by the people in my band. Like they inspire me. Like they're so talented and I really wanted to make sure that like shined through on this, especially on this record, which I think it did. But
Absolutely.
yeah, like that's what inspires me right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty amazing because that's a marriage, a brotherhood, there's a lot
Oh
that
yeah,
goes into that. And so that's amazing that you're still, after all these years, able to be inspired by the people around you.
yeah, inspired more too, for real.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, Marta has been more and more and more prevalent as far as vocally through each album. And this one, she's pretty prevalent as well. And your guys' harmonies together, you guys sound incredible together. She brings. I used to think, like back in the '90s, I used to not like electronic music. Like I was never into the new wave stuff. I didn't ever really get into like the Nine Inch Nails electronic type stuff. And so I think I automatically was like, I don't like keyboards and metal, to keep it out. But holy crap, has Bleeding Through totally changed my perspective on it. And now when it's done the way that I like it,
Yeah,
it really adds a whole extra element. And she
that's
is
cool.
absolutely incredible. She does a lot in this album. Is that something that you guys talked about, or is that just kind of where
Oh,
you guys
dude, totally. I
naturally
mean,
went into?
I think it's been a ramp up process for like a while. Finally, we got her to like do more vocals too.
You sound so
Um,
great.
but like I just think like the thing that was needed when I look overall, I asked what question that I ask every time we do a record, and I ask myself, how do we get more atmosphere and make it more orchestral and more Marta? I ask that every time. And finally, like I'm like, okay, that's the one question I ask myself every time before a fucking song. So this record, let's just make it happen. And I think it just really drives it home. I think there's like, kind of like the perfect balance of all of us right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Oh, I just lost that next question I was gonna ask with that same thing. When are you coming back to Boise?
Oh, well, maybe soon. I mean, we're brainstorming like ideas for 2025 for us because we don't do like full tours. We just do like weekends. We just pick a weekend. We kind of like just kind of make it work. So we can book those a couple months out. Like we book like that's about when we book our shows, and 2, 3 months. It's enough time to promote a one-off show. You know what I mean? So we're trying to put something together that is like that area, that region. I know Marta wants to go back there to play Idaho and have her family come out and stuff. So that'd be cool for us to go out there. So hopefully soon, 2025, maybe early 2026.
That would be awesome. Yeah, you do have a big following here, so I'm sure
I
you'd be
can't wait
able
to go
to
back.
pack the place. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
pretty location.
Which place?
Boise.
Yeah, Boise's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
crazy
pretty
that
city.
the amount of time we've been going there, for like, almost 20 years to see like where it began to like where it is now is fucking mind blowing. Like
Oh yeah.
you talk about a city that is like grown, like it's insane. It's insane.
Everybody's moving here. And it's funny because there's the Idahoans that are like strictly stay out of our state and get
Yeah.
all pissy about it. I love it because I want the diversity. I think it's
Yeah.
wonderful being able to have different people of all different walks of life here. I think it's important, especially for
Yeah.
Idaho.
It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good. I definitely hope to see you guys then. I don't want to keep taking a whole bunch of your time, even though I could probably sit here and ask you about 30 more thousand
Oh,
questions.
I could talk forever. What time is it?
It's 1:30 your time, I believe.
Okay, so I'm scheduled to start another interview next like minute or
Okay,
two.
okay. let me ask you one
That's
more
just how they
question and then
scheduled
I'll
it
let
for
you
me.
go. Yeah, that's okay. Totally understand. When you're singing at home, since you do cleans and you do harsh vocals, what do you prefer to sing? Do you prefer to sing like the Frank Sinatra-esque singing, or would you rather do the harsh like Lamb of God vocals while you're just out on your own doing fun stuff?
I would rather, now that I'm taking you on a journey, I would rather, I'd rather sing now.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoy
I
it.
had a feeling. I don't know why, but I had a feeling.
Screaming's stressful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Puts
Yeah,
stress on your body. Takes
totally.
life. It takes years off your life.
And off your throat.
And it getting off my throat. Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you go since you have a busy day. Thank you so much for taking this time with me. It's super,
You bet.
super
Thank you.
appreciated.
Great questions. Great vibe. You're awesome. We'll see you in Boise soon.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Have a great rest of your day.
Cool. Take care.
You too. Bye.